and he's going to demystify contracts. So let's welcome Derrick to the stand.
Can you hear me? Okay. So I'm gonna pass these out. While those are being passed out, I'm gonna do a quick public service announcement. If you have rental property, and if you particularly have 10 units or more, I have been introduced to a fantastic business opportunity that I suggest you want to take a look at. It's a way to generate additional money out of your rentals and create another income stream. There's going to be a meeting on Friday night at 6 o'clock and also Saturday morning at 10 a.m. In the same place, which is going to be the Holiday Inn in Huber Heights. I believe that's 5610 Merrily Way, right off of Old Troy in Huber Heights. So 6 p.m. Friday night, 10 a.m. Saturday morning. If you can make it out, make it out. It's a real interesting opportunity that if you're in the rental business, I think you'll find helpful. All right. So with that, just real quickly for those of you who don't know me, again, my name is Derrick Strahorn. I've been practicing law for, oh gosh. I don't want to say. But over 30 years, a big part of my practice is in the area of real estate and landlord-tenant law. I also have some rentals of my own, so I also have the personal experience that many of you have, so I can commiserate with some of the situations that you found yourself in. So I'm here tonight to talk about contracts. And Marsha asked me specifically to talk about lease options, so that's why I prepared the form that we've handed out. We're going to start with lease options and then maybe get to some other things if we have time. Typically what I like to do is, as we're going through the presentation, if you have questions, just go ahead and ask. You don't have to wait till the end, and that way I'm talking about things that you're interested in versus me just sitting up here and just going on and boring. Okay? So the first thing we want to talk about is using the lease option and how you structure it. Now, I've had people talk about they use only one document to do the lease option, so they'll include the lease and the option language in the same document. And it's not that that's wrong. I can't sit here and say that's the wrong way to do it. In my opinion, that's not the best way to do it. So typically, I suggest to people you want to do a lease as a separate document, and then you want to do an option agreement as a second separate document. And let me explain why I suggest doing that. So under Ohio law, as a landlord, there are certain obligations that you cannot negotiate for with the tenant. In other words, the tenant has certain protections that even if it's in the lease and the tenant says, well, you know what? You don't have to worry about that, Mr. Landlord, I'll do it. If you find yourself in court addressing those issues, you're going to lose. Because the Ohio law says the tenant has these rights no matter what. So it doesn't matter if the lease says the tenant's going to be responsible for repairing the roof or responsible for maintaining the furnace and air conditioning or the hot water heater if it goes out. It doesn't matter if that's in the lease. If you find yourself in court in a dispute over those issues, the tenant will win, because the law says even if the tenant says, yes, I'll be responsible, as a landlord, you are responsible. And the tenant cannot negotiate away its right to have you cover those things. So, because that's the nature or the situation with a rental lease for a residential tenant, and I do want to be very clear, this is for a residential tenant. It's different in a commercial situation. But for the purposes of our discussion, we're going to talk about just residential situations with tenants. So with a residential